Hey Nino, Arton, Mr. Jim Hooks here. Oh, Jim, I did just forgot to tell you I did unpack the package and that camera system. So how long you had that? It's been a long time since I've had one of those similar type devices. I had the Sony, what was it, HC15s or something with the 4mm or was it 8mm tape. Still got some of those tapes. Still probably got stuff on them. No idea what, but probably model aircraft, I'd say. Model aircraft meeting their end of their lives in very tragic, unexciting ways. Hey, Paul Shaw from Tassie, how's it going? And Def Bombs here, Mr. Barry. Okay, so we got a 1466 suffering the Nogoe syndrome, which of course is quite a common fault on Apple laptops particularly when they get liquid damage. Usually within about 15 to 20 minutes of a particular type of liquid damage, the Nogoe syndrome tends to start developing. Sometimes there's a bit of a relapse and things do work alright for a while, but inevitably once you catch Nogoe syndrome, it tends to always come back, even if you think you're lucky, and it typically has to get to a technician for a proper repair to eliminate the cause of Nogoe syndrome. Hey, Sabatino, it's been a while. And Milan and Mick, Paul Gale. Yeah, I thought I'd change things up today and just run things a little earlier. I've got a gap till about 9 o'clock tonight, so that gives us 2 hours roughly. Let's see, Jim, I acquired it last week. It was found at the Royal File Service and given to me. Not sure how old, but I thought, okay, we'll see how we go. It could be particularly good for the overhead because it's got the optical zoom on it. So we'll have a fiddle around and try that. Audio breaking up, are we? It seems to be okay here. Try. You sure it's not the dog you can hear barking next door? Mr. Bill! I'm never quite sure how to pronounce your name, Bill Sully. Good to see you. How'd you go with that next MacBook, by the way? By the way, everybody, if you are in the Melbourne, Geelong area and you do have iPhones that you need fixing, in fact most phones, go check out A1 Mobile Repairs, which Bill is the owner of. He does a very good job at a proper price, and I've never had any troubles at all, and I usually send most of the people down in his region to him. Sorts it all out, and I've never had a complaint, so I'm happy. Okay, let's see, what am I going to do? Oh, the other thing I wanted to show is I got my logo for the shirt. It's still going to take a week or two before I get the shirts, but I had to just go and verify it today, things like that. Let's see if I can get the picture up. Hello, come on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Save image as. Oh wait, what? Just give me a moment. I'm not impressively sophisticated right now, and that dog barking outside is driving me absolutely mad. Okay, let's see, schematic. Alright, so this is what the shirt logo is going to be like. I've ordered 3 different types of grey polo shirts, so basically this sort of thing but grey, cotton, and hopefully we'll see how it goes. We might have to do some revisions, might have to change the shirt color, but we'll give it a whirl. Okay, let's go to overhead. Okay, so Nogoe laptop. This one's had liquid damage. Apparently it's had some additional additional attempts of trying to revive it, so I'll be curious to see how that goes. I've been warned about it, or warned told. If you're a Futurama person, you'll know what I mean by worn tail. See, Castle will require registration of model aircraft over 250 grams. Oh wow, that's pretty severe. 250 grams. It's what, 1 pound. It's nothing. My discus launch gliders will be fine though. I'll be able to get them in under 250, I think. But that's still crazy. I could understand a kilo, maybe even 500 grams, but 250, it's essentially just them telling everyone to get stuffed, that you can't do any more flying. I guess what's probably prompted that is a whole bunch of people having drones and out of control planes flying into their houses, heads, gardens, everything. There's always a cost associated with the registration. They'll just say, it's just a small administration fee. And it's like, yeah, it's yet another fee on yet another fee on yet another fee. Sounds like a song. Okay, battery connector's broken off. Alright. That dog is driving me mad. You'd think me being partially deaf wouldn't get concerned about those things, but funnily enough, because of the partial hearing loss, at least in my case, it also results in a loss of the brain to filter out or discriminate sounds. Essentially, my brain, the hearing section of my brain, is a fat slob, and all its muscles or neurons have atrophied. So now, when certain sounds come along that most people can just like filter out or reasonably ignore, I can't. I just get punched by this noise over and over. Alright, nearly doxed someone, but fortunately the last 3 digits were not visible, so you all go ahead and dial 1,000 different phone numbers, okay? Alright. That was a surprise doxing. Fortunately, at least the rest of my brain has been reasonably well exercised to pick up the slack that my hearing discrimination side has not. I think I might need that battery connector actually. Looks clean enough. Battery has had liquid damage. And Nick, Paul's still haven't gotten back to you, by the way. Oh yes, 820-165, of course. Let's see, 343. This was only added just a couple of days ago. Postal delivery was quick. 820-165. Yeah, board code's up. Yeah, Bill, well, I'm sure we all know the panic of having accidentally misplaced someone's, well, in your case, iPhone boards or things like that. And they go, wondering how the job of data recovery is going on my board. And then you like go, oh my god, I've forgotten where that is. And you panic, run around the workshop, hope that you're going to find it in the meantime, come up with a really good excuse as to why you haven't got it. If you can't find it, who you're going to blame. Yeah, this has been washed with isopropylene, or actually metho by the looks of it. That or the flux, I'm not sure. Not really in the mood to taste it. If I taste it and it's extremely bitter, then it will probably be metho. But I'm really not in the mood to test that. Hey Tony. The last Mac with a removable SSD was the 1708s. And they're not a bad little machine, the 1708. I don't mind them. They're easy enough to work on too. Yeah, come on. Out you come. Just wondering how far I should tear this thing down. So I might put the flex on it, see what it does when I plug power in. The 1708 had a removable drive. It was a weird metal canister blade drive, I think they called it. It was a one-off, and then after that they switched to everything being on the main board. Okay, so here we go with this. We do have a green light, we do have a fan spin, we do have proper current. We do have a bong, CPU's alive, that's good. We don't have a screen energized because someone unplugged the screen. Paul Marrow, did you see the link to the video that I posted? What was it about? I forget things very quickly. Found the metal spudger you've been looking for. Screen's energized. At Crazy Parts. What's Crazy Parts? If you want to check it out, it's a Keanu Lee one. Hey Solaris. Because certainly I found plenty of similar looking spudgers, but yeah, they're either chromed or they're too thick. The wrong kind of stainless steel. Hi Jeffries took apart at 12. Oh, I think I did dig through that. I didn't get a good look at it though. I've been running crazy lately. But it certainly seems like the iPhone 12 has unleashed a whole new level of entertainment for us. Okay, we've got no backlight. Backlight's dead. I can see the blinking folder in there. So we've got no backlight. We've got a broken battery connector. We'll take it out and see what else we've got. Bill, I don't think this is going to be as interesting as your board that you showed me the other day with the once you removed it. It was almost as bad as a gender reveal when you flip that over. Ah, right, we've got the broken heatsink fan connector mount. That's okay, we can fix that. Yeah, I know. I tell people not to pull that camera connector out by the cord, and if you're not used to it, don't do it. Just you sort of do get to know the feel of it, and there is a certain tension that you can go up to before it rips out. But it's one of those things where you only find out after you've gone too far, so as a general rule, don't. Just use the tweezers and wiggle it out. Okay, get that hidden one out. It's funny that everybody's going off about that. I always thought that the cameras were paired anyway. And so when I read the news about the 12 being paired, the cameras, I was like, oh, well, I thought they already did do that. So, whoops, my bad. So I guess I was already living in a world that was worse than what it really was. And now nothing's changed for me. Okay, I got this. Hey, Trevor. Oh, that. I cannot get that yapping yap out of my head. Be gone. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not against the dog. It's just. Come on. Yeah, so this definitely had the wash down. You can tell because you got all the concentric evaporation contours around everything. Okay, we've had corrosion there, which is with the USB. So we'll have a look at that. There's the capacitor there's got a bit of damage on the end. Backlight is out of here. You are catastrophic. Okay, I shouldn't say catastrophic. It's not really. It's more just normal. They've paid everything to the board, so now you can't change anything. Well, you'll still be able to do repairs at least. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly happy to hear about that, but, you know, we're still going to be able to do repairs, like this sort of stuff. It's not great. Hey, JCT, Hundit. Yeah, earworms are a little bit different for me. Earworms, like when you can't get a song out, you just keep looping on the one phrase or section or one bar if you're lucky. Usually it's 3 or 4 notes and that's it. Hey Max, David. The board's a bit cold, so I'm just trying to bring it up nicely. So this is actually a bit of a classic, the old backlight damage. Gotten itself stuck down there, that's for sure. Come on, buddy. There we go. Oh yeah, some good, solid, grimy grime. This is kind of like the TriStar of the iPhone world. Paul Merritt, yeah, we got a fair bit of wind, some rain. That's impressive. Not as much rain as what we would want, obviously. But it wasn't too bad. It did at least mean I've got to do mowing this weekend. Get my nice 82 volt Victor mower out and chew through that grass real easy. Should get a power filter for the exhaust fan or build one. Or put them on isolated circuits, or just put a snubber on it. I'm actually kind of surprised. I really would have thought that the fan would have had a snubber built in, but it seems not. Either that or it's just not sufficiently rated. It does seem though that it's merely corrupting the frame, because if it was killing the camera or the interface, the adapter, there would be a substantially longer lag between when it shows the rainbows and when it returns. Solaris from Darwin. Oh yeah, cool. When we up in Darwin, I was up in Jabiru between, I think it was 79 and 81. Yeah, we'd get stuck out because of East Alligator River coming up. We'd get stuck out in Jabiru for 3 to 4 months. And it's like, well, we're stuck here. Fortunately, you know, we'd have enough resources. And then Yeah, we just wait to hear the news of someone getting game enough to drive over the East Alligator area, the floodplain. Moved to Albany, WA 7 years ago. Okay. The last time I was in WA was at the Kimberleys, and then there's the Diamond Mine and Ord River Dam, that sort of stuff. That was also early 80s. 96 monsoon. Okay, well, wasn't there for that one. 96, I was in South Africa. And I gotta tell you, they've got some pretty interesting storms in the Highveld up there. I love the lightning that you get in the Highveld. Because you're already quite high up, you get this web, like spider's web lightning that just sort of runs on the underside of the clouds. And yeah, you're about 5,000 foot above sea level up there. And so it feels very close to see these clouds and just this web of lightning just racing along. It's the sort of thing you'd see in a sci-fi show or something like that. Genuinely fantastic to watch. Hey John Finn, how's it going? Good to see you. Alright, I need to get my LP8550s. Smell of the rain in 4 hours before the storm. What, you mean permanently? Some days or some weeks it was like that. It was like rain, 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 rain. Wouldn't stop. Hey Dan Andrew. Okay, I think I've got an LP 8550 in here somewhere. Yep, got a couple. There we go. Hey, fixing things. Hey, you're getting lucky. Shouldn't you be fixing things? Have you finished all your jobs for the day, have you? Are you taking a break? I was up to about 4 o'clock this morning sorting out all the administration side of fixing things. Not you're fixing things, but yeah, just getting invoices sorted, getting stuff packed and scheduled, ready to go for today, and yeah. It's surprising how long it can take. Yeah, I know, it's upside down. It's a bit Lewisy, that flux level. Kind of ashamed about that. Bill, if you're still there, this is what I love about working on MacBooks, is that you can just sit here and casually wave your hot air everywhere and popcorn the top of the chip. Whoops. Okay, I was getting a bit close there. Okay, good. Yeah, you can take your time. You don't have to panic. You don't have to panic and worry that you're going to end up doing a baseband underfill reball for the next 2 days. Fatality flux level. Did you end up finally receiving your long-awaited delivery that you're waiting for? So many that I'm waiting for. Hey, Keith McDermott. I hope you haven't suffered too many of those baseband reball requirements. I mean, I pretty much cried when I had to do the underfilled TriStar on the 7. That was bad enough. I can only imagine what that baseband's going to be like. And that's all I want to do. I only ever want to imagine it, and not actually live it. Hey, Mr. Hedgehog, how's it going? To me, the iPhone world is just that added level of ludicrous. I guess the only upside is that if you do need to do things like change CPUs and whatnot, at least just standard equipment is more than ample to do it, whereas try to change a CPU on a MacBook, that's going to take a little bit of extra effort. I'm a little bit worried, yeah, I'm going to take that off. I'm a little bit worried that the pad underneath that resistor is actually chewed away. I'd rather check now than forget about it. And then because I've gone and put some fresh solder over the edge, it's not the sort of thing you would ever see. Okay, that seems fine. Yeah, it's not the sort of thing you would ever spot if you were going along trying to find a faulty pad. Hey Penov, how's it going? Had an underfilled audio IC job today. Have me really debating if I should do it or not. So, did you do it, and how did it go? What model phone was that? Oh, it was the 7, was it? I am curious how. Yeah, that's got to be a heck of a good technique or training and such to be able to get those chips off and not completely train wreck the board. It's definitely not my department. Hey Pedro. Okay, I'm only doing this because I really don't want to melt the plastic on the USB connector. That resistor looks like it's taken a hit. It's got a little bit of a rainbow gloss in the middle. It could just be corrosion, but I am actually going to just windscreen wiper this stuff. And there's blood coming out from underneath this chip, so it's definitely a goner. I don't know if you can see it, but you get this, see that sort of maroon, brown, red color? If you see that coming out from under a chip, you're probably better off replacing the chip if you can. Use a soldering iron only. Oh, right. You mean get the great big 100-watt 4mm chisel tip from the car store. I gave away my big powerful irons. I should probably buy another one, just for that purpose. I used to do it with the iPhone 5s, getting the TriStar off that, if I had to. But I can imagine that the audio IC is another level up. Hey Peter Young. Alright, so you're confessing to this one, are you, Peter? Some people don't mind people knowing their board's been repaired. Other people prefer not to. Just out of, I don't know, I guess they just don't want people looking at their stuff. It's alright. Cranky pants as I try to find something here. Scratch it. I think it might be the EMF or something. I'll ask Dave Jones. He'll fix it for me. I'll just call him up and say, "Hey Dave, come fix up my scratchy audio, will ya?" Beauty. Thanks, mate. That's not how it happens. Dave would reply and something along the lines of, "Tell him he's dreaming," or "Hell no," or "Crikey mate, no way, get stuffed." On the other hand, if he did like me, he'd reply with like, "Hell no, get stuffed, you lousy mongrel. I'll be on the next flight." I'm sure most cultures do tend to have that. The more you like someone, the more you insult them and hate them and yell at them. To a degree. A. Get that shield back on, buddy. Don't want to go melting the plastic. Especially now that we've got eyes watching us. It's actually very hard not to get at least some level of melt going on around here. Where's his 4X? I don't know if does Dave even drink 4X or anything like that? I don't know. I've never bothered to check to see what his weak points are in terms of his culinary preferences. I figured I'd never meet the chap myself, so I mean, I suppose if I wanted to bribe him, I'd have to look into it. He doesn't like cats, so... Well, I shouldn't say that. That's not his weak point, unlike Lewis Rossman, so I couldn't use... I can't use the picture of my cats anymore. That'd be quite the trick. He's a lot smarter than me, so I can't dazzle him with brilliance. I could try to use words like Bobby Dazzler, but then I don't even know what that comes from. He doesn't drink hot drinks. Oh, is that so different? Alright, good. Working our way to find out how to bribe Dave Jones. We can't hit him with riches either, because I mean, you know, he's got $250,000 IBM CPUs. We can't compete with that. He seems to be a pretty fun bloke. He's like the Australian Thunderfoot, is the way he comes across to me, but with a better voice. Oh, I know. I can get a Tesla 3 and then offer him to have a bit of a scrap with him, a drag race. Yeah, do a few lappies around the town so you can get the most tickets. The computer was discarded by a work colleague. Ah, that's right, yeah, she did mention that. Yeah, I still like to not melt things where I don't have to. Like, you can see here. See, I mean, that's just a bit of surface melting, but what I was trying to avoid was the melting of in here. It's very difficult to avoid it, but it's good to try and avoid it. Dave's in final new to old lab move. Oh, yeah, sorry it was changing yet again. It seems like every 6 weeks he's changing labs. Alright, we'll get that back on. Is that super glue I see? I think it's super glue. Okay, it's important to note that if that is super glue, I have to scrape it off, because what happens is when you heat up the super glue, you can get some interesting gases off it, like I believe cyanide's certainly one of them, or something like that. Yeah. Cockney rhyming slang is Dave's primary language, I've noticed. Old sitcom from the 70s, alright, so it definitely predates me. And Dave was involved in mature, responsible adult conversations. I was still watching Koala Park Adventures or something. Okay, that's that. Hey, Noosa. Dave is the Steve Irwin of electronics. That's a pretty good way of putting it, Mick. Yeah. I said Dave's my mum's boyfriend. I can't tell if you're legit or you're making up crap. Can't tell. The other thing I don't want to do is, as this breaks off, I don't want to be breathing in, just in case I inhale a piece of this stuff. Man, this puts Walter White's stuff to shame. Fake news, I was going to say. And we do have long screw damage on this hull, but fortunately with these boards, long screw damage, it's just another ground plane underneath, so nothing's going to happen. So, by the way, is Solaris the right way to say it, or do you have a preferred pronunciation? What is that just a alias? And is that Greek, or what is it? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't ask questions so much. Maybe I should just pretend I know everything, and then when everybody's gone and it's quiet, I can bring out Google and educate myself. It can be a little hard around here because some people, of course, have their favourite, like sci-fi show or Japanese anime. You never can tell. Sounded as Zol. Okay, Zolaris. Okay. That was a little off it. Yeah, but we've got... Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to not use that one. Instead, I'm going to rip it right off here, and this one won't be contaminated. You made the name up in 97. Oh, alright, okay, cool. Well, that'll explain, at least now I can sort of go, well, there was no way I was ever going to know that, so I'm free of guilt. Normally I'll stick the tip of the soldering iron with a bit of solder on down these to make them let go. Oop, someone's messaging me. Ah. It's my political friend. Oh, why are you out of focus? Still a bit. %95 of it get wrong. Yeah, I can understand that. Bleach is a good... I've heard of Bleach, yes. Just haven't actually seen it. But I have heard of it, and that was dumb. Paul demonstrates why you don't use micro pencils on circuit boards with high thermal conductivity and capacity. Paul also demonstrates how humans are lazy and don't want to have to change things. Actually, wasn't Bleach on Netflix as a movie? I think it was. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Oh, come on, heat up already. We'll get the... That took its... That took a little while longer because of the fact that it was actually desperately trying to heat that up. Okay, it's a little bit much there. That's more like it. Got an air here with a recovery bootlock password. You should, what, 1466 or which one? I mean, you should be able to at least get rid of the lock and carry on using it, but without getting the data back, perhaps. I don't know. Ask Pionov. Ask the expert in the channel. There we go. Still got a bit too much excess there. Nice. That's fixed. A1370. Oh, you should definitely be able to get rid of that lock and reuse those. Okay, so backlight's done. Backlight connect. LVDS has to be done. Yeah, okay, this is turning into some. Thank you very much, Peter Young. Ended me with a board with a million different defects. Well, I must say I'm always asking for challenges, so I guess Peter has stepped up to the plate and delivered. Hey Corey. Okay, so backlight's definitely trashed. Hopefully we haven't lost, mind you, they are guard pins on either side, so we should be okay. Because there has been, you know, arcing liquid damage, that kind of thing along this connector, instead of doing the usual situation where you rub the board with your wick and the iron, I'm going to use the hot air wicking. Yeah, I was going to say, you're on early today, Corey. this isn't really a problem if we've lost those pads, because this is just backlight and we can run a wire to the connector. But it does look like the pads are there, they're just a little bit chromated. Admittingly, they're not really the healthiest looking pads by any means, but recoverable. Looking good. Brightness is kind of overshot there a bit, isn't it? I didn't realise, but I had the LED light set to max. Just not sure if those feedback resistors are okay. That one in the middle in particular. Okay, it's fine. It just had a little bit of oxidization on it, but it's okay now. Hey, Ed Cellshop, how's it going? Andrew too, how's it going? Okay. Let's see if we've got continuity on our fuse. Morning, Ed. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you guys can't read scientific notation. Fair enough. Fine. Bunch of whingers, the lot of you. There. It's not even going to show up properly. Anyway, needless to say, it's open circuit. LG, it's all on my tools page. I got it quite a while ago, but it's a good microscope. I mean, it cost a pretty penny, but it does produce a pretty picture. So I guess that's a fair trade, eh? Right. So we need a fuse, and we need... well, we don't have the proper... I don't know when I'm going to get the proper LVDS connectors. For now, we only have the ones that are actually meant for the screen side. And the difference is that they do not have the little physical key that goes into that hole, which means you have to line it up yourself and, you know, tack it down, then realign, tack it down, get it right, and carry on from there. There's a hole in the fuselage. There's always a hole in the fuselage. If you don't have holes in your fuselage unzips itself like a 1970s Comet. I'm pretty sure that was the... yeah, what was the aircraft model that... actually, it wasn't really because it didn't have a hole in it, but they had square holes for the venting on the top just behind the pilot's the cabin control room, and it ended up being a fatigue point, and basically the poor plane unzipped itself from that point. after a certain number of hours. It was pretty frickin' tragic. Okay, we're just tacking down. Hey Teresa, how's it going? Right. Choices, Paul. Look, and I'll do the stuff that needs the big iron right now, which is like these. Like that. No, we're not finishing them off properly there. We just... Damn it, that was too much. Anyway, as I was saying, we're trying not to finish them off. We just want to get some solder onto there, and then we'll just use the hot air assist method later to make them perfect. So that's enough solder. And that's too much solder. You want it to start sticking to the tip rather than to the pad. Okay, that's good. I know it looks really shonky, but believe me, it comes out just perfect later. You mean stress cleaning? Found the floor, but I know when I'll see you better. Now I've got to do my taxes. I started getting prepared to start doing them. I mean, that's progress. Idiot. Back to the micro pencil again. You found some C64 manuals, crikey. It was the Comet, Andrew? Thanks. Yeah, I thought it was the Comet. It was not a nice way to find out that your engineering team had basically botched up. Oh, are you kidding me? What? Fine. Must be a cold day here in North Queensland because all I'm adding is 250 here. That's not a lot of heat. And I just banged the tip on the edge of the Hacko solder tip cleaner. I hate it when I do that. Mostly because you know that these tips are like $100 a pop, or close enough. And the last thing you want to do is damage them. Okay, we've accidentally moved a pin here. Yeah, Paul's botched that one up. Yeah. Yeah, you're not supposed to let the magic smoke out. Okay, we've got... This is one of those things where perfection may cause you to have an inferior outcome ultimately. But you can see this pin here has got a problem. It's a little bit kinked. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. That's good enough. And since it's just a data pair, so like you got a data pair here and you got another data pair here, there's no high voltage, so it's not going to matter that the gap is a little smaller. Yeah, I still have to do those anchor pins. Fine, I'm sticking my fine tweezers in there, heating works fine. Yeah, that thing that I just stuck in there, that's my half tweezer. Come on, there we go. You could see that solder wick into the pad as it got hot. Oh, it looks like we've got a Windows 10 spammer. Hello, spammer. And of course we've still got to do the fuse. You're not powerful enough. You can't do it. Damn. I'm trying to cheat. More power. On fuses. Dun, dun, dun. See, the letter P for Paul. Clearly these fuses are meant for me. Or Peter. Patrick. Philip. Patricia. Princess Diana. Andre, I find as long as you got the heat and flux, then you should be okay. Most of the time it's just a case of the connectors drag too much heat out of your solder, and as you know, it gets stuck and lumpy, things like that. Basically, kind of like how my welding jobs look. Yeah. Welding jobs look like a bunch of birds just came along and just did their business along the steel. So people say, wow, that's a really bad looking welding job. I'm like, what? No, I thought that was just bird droppings, mate. Okay, we got this connector to replace too. This presents its own challenges. Okay, Bill, take care. Thank you for joining. Maybe you'll have to start doing your own channel, since we no longer seem to have Jason Vilmer or Chris Long doing live streams for iPhones, and in fact even Jessa doesn't really get time anymore. Maybe you should do them, Bill, so we can all learn your secrets. Because that's what every shop wants, is for everyone else to know their secrets. Angle grinder and muffler putty will fix up those dodgy welds. Oh, right, okay. Hang on. Muffler putty too, eh? Yeah. I thought you were against sharing the knowledge. I am. I'm against sharing knowledge that I'm relying on to make money. All other knowledge, though, can be shared. I'm only slightly protective. Uh-huh. If you steal the knowledge that I use to make money, then you're impinging on my right to be a capitalist in a free market. I'm really doing this the wrong way. Now this has got to be the... Come here. Come on. I don't want to bring hot air into this area because we've got a keyboard and keyboard backlight connector. You don't appreciate how annoying they are to replace until you've got to replace them. How damn you bastard. Come on. Hey Alexi, how's it going? I was wondering where you were. Figured you'd just be busy at work or something. Ah, you mongrel. Cut it off and pretend it was intentional. Ugh. Yeah, that was all deliberate, folks. It was just part of the show. Had to give you a little bit of a heart start. Hey, Travis. Simmer, I have no idea what would be causing that. I'm sorry, I just... no idea. So many possible things. That's the joy of PC laptops. 1,000 designs and 1,000 ways to fault. Of course, in all fairness, I must admit, 90% or 95% of PC laptops all have the same logical structure internally. So if you understand the logic of most a PC laptop, then chances are you know it for most of them. Because if you look at the schematics for pretty much every PC laptop, they're all the same. Just the parts are in different areas, different values, maybe different chips. But overall, it's all the same. I mean, there's no point really changing what already works. Okay, so we need a new power connector. No trouble. Nope, you've got liquid damage, so that would be a bit of a disservice to do that. Hey Barry Jamin, and 10-minute text here, how's it going? Yeah, I agree, Pernov. Mac is the same to a certain extent as well. But I guess what I'm saying is that Macs aside, at least with PCs, yeah, everything is so similar. So we're going to take this from the other side, but to help it along we're going to pickle the lead free, contaminate it as it were, poison its well, drop some lead in there. What is going on tonight? Everything's out of control. Thank you, Alexi. I have not had ice cream in quite some time now. I'm trying to be good. I'm actually trying to, look after my health. Ha ha ha. It's like when people start approaching their 50s, all of a sudden they go, maybe I should start looking after myself. Even though I probably should have done that in my 20s. But I'll do it now. And at least, now is better than later. Hey, 3X. Oh, this is definitely one that you have to, well, you'd prefer to do from the underside. So I'm just going to set it up here. That is at the very limit of my microscope height. I'm sorry, I can't get it any higher. Where's my standard desktop block? It seems that somebody's stolen my standard desktop weight block. So instead I'm going to have to use the bench vise. Not overly keen on using the bench vices because you do have to clamp in on the parts. I'll just try and just keep it open. And he's put it in upside down. That's it. We're going blurry vision for a bit. Sorry, folks. Maybe it's just easier if I... Hey Mark, how's it going? Ugh, trash all over it. Okay, so we got the connector off. As you can see, we didn't do any damage. So it's a bonus. Now we have to put it back on. There's a couple of ways we can go about this. I could just put paste under it and then hit it with a reflow. But what I'll probably do is kind of like I did with, well, the same as what I did with the LVDS connector. You tack it down, then use the assistive heat combined with the soldering iron, and then let it sort of run to the underside of the connector. Because as you saw when we were taking it off, the blades run to about the midway point there. And there's no way you can get your soldering iron in that deep. It's just not going to happen. So you have to let the heat do the work. Maria Pinza. Problem, I forgot my password. Don't know how to make a hard reset from Russia. Yeah. Depends on the device. But yeah. Google to the rescue, I guess. And welcome, by the way, even though I'm not going to be much use. Okay, this section here is actually the hardest to solder because of the thermal absorption. So we'll just tack that one. These two here, or these three here, are the easiest because they're just the communication lines. So we'll get them in. Okay, so now we can sit here and, get a little more forceful. It's not a problem if these get bridged, by the way. Those three get bridged and those three get bridged. It's no drama. They're all the same. The three in the middle, though, you don't want them bridging. Hey, Paul. As long as they don't become part of that. So mine like the water heater. So again, this is only 250 centigrade on the hot air, but it just, you saw just then, see how the pad, if you watch the roundness of the solder, you can tell when it jumps underneath it wicks along the pad, because it'll take a quick little like hop. There you go, see it then? Okay, because it's all warmed up now, it's just doing it straight away. But it happens in very distinct jumps. Now that one went. Yep, that one. And that one. And they should all be good now. Oh yeah, this is like a crowbar across your car 12-volt battery. Let's just leave that randomly around here. It might have been enough of a short that it could have put a MacBook into the Genius bar. Alright, that's going to need rework. Okay, it seems like every time I'm getting to the end of this, there's something new and exciting for me to do. Peter, you still here with us? Or you had to go do other things? Anyone know if Peter Young's still around? It's a Marmite video. I'll have to have a look at that later. 13-inch touch, was that the one that got zapped? The display when I fixed, it had there was a display, what was it, 1990 I think it was? Pianov will know because I was talking to him about it. It was an 820000281 board. I got lucky with that, as Pianov was explaining, because it has a external MUX chip for the EDP. And that's what got destroyed. Actually, does this... I'll take it off anyway, just to be sure. But the one that copped a bunch of water damage and then accidentally got shorted, I haven't managed to get that to life yet. Right, yeah, that's... what? 281... Thanks, Pernov. See, this is why I like having Pernov around, because he corrects me for my grotesquely obvious mistakes that I don't pick up. I'm gonna have to double Pernov's wage at this rate. Yeah, the 850, I have not been able to get that to work yet. To be fair, I haven't put a lot of effort into it. I was too busy fixing up a lot of other things. Why not triple it? Well, let's go quadrupling it. So let's see. In the spirit of Firefly Jane, let's see, it's 4 times 0.00, carry the 0, and we end up with 0. Well, the best thing about Pernov is not only is he an encyclopedia, he actually understands his encyclopedia knowledge. You can get people who just... they can recall a lot of very interesting things, but they actually don't really process it. Okay, that's good. That should make sure the SMC comes on now. This is certainly going to be looking forward to having a bath. Ugh, just making it worse. Right, I see Peter's still here. Good stuff, Peter. Glad to see you're sticking by, watching how things go. Hopefully that is the end of the main processes. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know I don't actually like putting these boards back in when they've got flux all over them, so we'll just give it a little bit of a wash to get the flux off. Because the trouble is, once the flux gets on that backlight plastic, you can never really get it properly off. How are we going for time? 8:30, so I will have to finish shortly. I have to go up and give Micro his insulin and do some other things. So hopefully if we get a win here, I can go off and do that other stuff. Okay, it looks clean enough. Not so much worried about the flux on the top side because obviously that's not touching the inside of the chassis. Try my best not to contaminate people's machines with all these undesirable fluids, viscous or otherwise. I'll just temporarily put the heatsink back on. It's obviously not going to do a very good job, but it will be enough to silence the fire demons for a little bit. Probably didn't really need to put all 4 screws in, but the muscle memory was on the way, so what am I going to do? Stop my muscle memory? Nope, not going to do that. Put the Wi-Fi in to make sure it works too. I spoke about how I'm trying to get into the habit of testing these things before I do any sort of ultrasonicing, because it's very frustrating to have to re-ultrasonic a board. Oh wow, this one's done it too. There seems to be lately I'm getting more and more of these heat sinks losing the screw down endpoint. I can fix it, much like we fixed the screw point for the board for the fan. But, which reminds me I have to get rid of that. Trying to get this lovely pair of pliers. They genuinely are very nice pliers, these ones. Again, the bin's covered in cyanosilicate. Right, and yeah, that's definitely a long screw. That one belongs up the top here. Am I going to be streaming later tonight? I'm not sure. I may not. I don't actually have... I mean, I do have that board that I can't fix. But, well, now that would just be foolish of me to try and fix what I can't fix, wouldn't it? Oh, Paul, don't worry about that. That's, it's pretty trivial stuff, really. That's just a flat surface, bit of solder and nothing more. There's nothing electrical under it. And in fact, what is that noise? Is someone yelling out or something? Yeah, and there's only a big ground plane under that screw anyway. So when it comes to the 1466s, you can get away with long screw damage on there. And the worst that happens is it just pops up that what do you call it? A nut, I guess. For some reason I always want to say stud, but it's not really a stud. Okay. Battery plugged in. Grommet. Grommet always comes across to me as being a rubber thing. I guess it depends on your area, your language, things like that too. Okay, let's see. I'll get rid of our option key. We've got a fan spin. We've got a bong. So we haven't gotten any worse than we were before, and we've got backlight. That's what we were wanting. Backlight, boot. Dum, 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 dum. You can use these heatsink units without the screw down end piece, but it's not too bad to put them back on, so I tend to prefer to do that. Looks like it's charging. We're at 9, almost 3 amps, so that's a very good sign. So everything's looking good so far. Temperatures look sane, considering that we didn't even do the paste again. Wi-Fi is good. That's showing up the one network it should, given that it's not connected. That is, there's no antennas. Yeah, it looks like we had Troll Patrol. Just seeing if FaceTime comes up. Yep, camera works. Excellent. We know the speaker works. Does the microphone work? Yep, microphone's good. Now the fun one, the keyboard test, particularly on liquid damage machines. And where's my 1466? There you are. Okay, so here we go. Pick a non-sticky finger. Keyboard's good. Alright, it seems like this machine is alive. Weird, I thought I saw someone coming in through the door then. Shut down. We are charging. We're at 56%. We started out at 55. That's at 3 amps. That's pretty good. Make sure it actually runs with the battery alone. It does. Let's see if it sleeps and wakes up. It does go to sleep. It does wake up. So that's good. And then of course you've got to do it with the power connected too. Yep. Seems like we're all good, Paul. I mean, Peter. Shut down. I'll have to go through the ultrasonic and then we'll do all the tests again. Make sure that nothing's changed through the ultrasonic. Hey, Yamara. It's been, what, 3 weeks since I've seen you, Yamara? Have you been okay and just busy? Nothing else inhibiting you turning up? $600 watching sounds like a mistake. Can't be that long. We went on holidays. Oh, really? Okay. It just feels like it was a long time. And that is that. So, battery off. Flex is off. Take the battery out. Oh, that's right. I've just got the one thing to do, and that is to resolder the end of the heat pipe back on. Like I said, it's not critical. You can just keep using it without the end of that heat pipe being tied down. But since I do have the part, and since I can fix it, I'm going to. Come on, there you go. School holiday plus an extra week? Yeah, it sounds like 3 weeks to me. I really wouldn't know anyway. I mean, I'm certainly not an ideal person for remembering that stuff. Times like this that I wish I had a high temperature putty or something like that. I believe it's called jeweler's pinch or something like that. I haven't been able to find any jeweler's pinch in Australia. I mean, there must be available, but yeah, everything just seems to be coming out of AliExpress at the moment. Alright, this is interesting. That's been chewed away quite a bit. Someone else has actually tried that. Yeah. The only trouble is, it seems like they didn't get the flux levels up right or something. So yeah, they've tried it, but it didn't work out for them. So we'll try it. Might work out for us, but perhaps not. Mandela effect. I was here only yesterday. Don't you remember? Oh. Yet the Mandela effect in itself is a Mandela effect, kind of, because it never really did exist before. Yeah, that is true. I am much earlier today. I don't know what kind of solder they've used here, so I'm gonna have to... That's just way too much solder they've got there. Like with that screw mount, we just need just a licking of solder, enough to act like kind of like glue, really. Yeah, if you have two well connected surfaces, then you only need the smallest amount of glue to make them stick together well. Okay, assistive heat and 3 arms here. Still a bit much there. What? Why is someone asking the phone number? Is micro helping? Thankfully not. We should not be anywhere near any of this stuff. I really should be doing this on an elevated platform or something. 460. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Heat up before the pipe blows. Wow, that does not want to... Okay. Rather than risk killing the CPU, I'm going to have to take it off. Now these heat pipes should be directional, but no matter how directional they may be, there is still the ability for the heat to run back through the metal case of itself. And that'd be a sad, sad story. Okay, let's try this again. Teresa, it sounds about right to me. Was I doing it the wrong way the whole time? I'm pretty sure I had it this way originally. Okay, a bunch of flux. Because why not? Hey, is this... mongrel. Damn it, I need something to hold the... I am genuinely wondering where my big 12-volt battery pack has gone. Those things don't normally get up and walk out on their own. Be interesting to see if this is going to be like my welding. Steve, we've sort of gone past the main part of the show. You're just in the... Ow, that's very hot. You're just in the encore now. Well, it's not bad, but I know I can do better. Now the real test, see if it's just flux holding it or not. Well, it's not flux holding it, so it definitely has got solder on it, but it's really dodgy. Supremely dodgy. My mind does not like it. Welcome Neo Matrix. Good luck with the purchase of the station. Yeah, what do you call it? What do you call these things? Microscopes, that's it. Yeah. Paul's brain's giving up on him today. Let's see, can we do better? We've got 10 minutes to do better. I think we can do better. It's the Aussie way. The bodge job. The Dodgy Brothers. Good old wholesome Dodgy Brothers. Okay, let's go again. The main problem I'm facing here is that, see how this solder here is just not, well, it hasn't flowed. It's like the connectors. And so while you may have had some level of solder connection, it's about as legitimate as that guy who did the graphics card, what was it, current fix or something like that, and he just pressed the resistors down, or I can't remember what exactly it was. I was just too horrified. What was it? J2 was it? Okay, see now that's still not perfect, but that is better. Sorry for being late. I had to look after an old woman going into a second. Oh, jeez. Wait, what are you, a doctor? You're a what do they call them? A gynae? Obstetrician. That's it, obstetrician. Honestly, that probably would have been better off using a brazing gun. You know, one of those little gas torch things. But we got there. It's so hot. Now the fun thing is that due to the elevated temperatures, it is entirely possible we may have ruptured the tube, or we may, normally they should be brazed shut, so you'd need, I don't know, what's brazing, about 1200 centigrade? So you'd need something way up around about that sort of temperature before you could risk damaging those brazes, those terminations. But the increased pressure caused by the elevated temperature may possibly, I don't know, may have found a weakness. We'll see. Well, we're going to let this cool down. It's kind of bent anyway, but it's got a bit of a curve this way. We're going to let it cool down. I'll ultrasonic the board, and then later we'll see how it goes. Anyway, well, Peter's going to find out one way or another. Pop it. I am not going to pop it, no. Hot melt glue would have worked, yeah. Yeah, Ed, you gotta love the English, or you gotta love such sayings. You know, there's always, honestly, sayings are like magic cards or modern day memes and things like that. It's like there's always one saying to counter the other. What is it, like mental martial arts, mental karate? Alrighty. And you put it in the bin. What did I put in the bin? No. Okay, I'm out here. Thank you very much for watching the early stream, and we did make it just in time. I've got a few minutes to go up. Go get Micro's insulin sorted out. Oh, and you put it in the Peter's Macbook. I did not do that. It's right here on the bench on the floor. It's all good to go. And I will see you all next time, whenever that may be. Could be later tonight, probably not, but it might be tomorrow. Anyway, until then, you all take care, and I'll see you later.